Through the storm-veiled dusk of Arendra 9, a wounded vessel tears across the horizon like a bleeding comet, crashing into the luminous heart of Valen territory. The air hums with spores, living fragments of memory, whispering fragments of the human tongue. From the wreckage emerges Captain Rhys Calder, half conscious, half dreaming, his body fractured by alien fire and his mind echoing with ghosts of command. Hidden among the crystalline vines, Kalira Vihen, an exiled healer forbidden to touch human flesh, watches the impossible. A mortal surviving entry into the Sanctum Valley. The red giant overhead burns like a wounded eye, and in its glow, Rise's voice pierces the silence. Hoarse but steady, I don't fear you. The moment shatters her composure. Laughter, light and sorrowful, escapes her lips. The first sound of joy the valley has heard in 1,000 cycles. Kalira drags the human to her hidden chamber, beneath the valley's heart, where forbidden healers once worked miracles beyond reason. His wounds radiate with dying heat, earth's steel and alien energy entangled like veins of lightning. The spores respond to his pulse, swirling into shapes that mirror distant constellations. She kneels beside him, whispering in the ancient tongue of resonance, defying her oath. The air trembles, and for the first time in centuries, the valley listens. Rhys awakens to a vision beyond understanding. A healer cloaked in living light, her voice resonating like song through liquid air. He grips his side, finding no pain, only warmth that flows through him like memory. When their eyes meet, the silence between them feels older than language. Kalira's voice trembles as she warns him, "You should not be alive." His reply, soft, defiant, "Neither should you," cracks the stillness like glass. Outside, the High Seer's sentinels sweep the valley for intruders. Kalira senses their approach and cloaks her chamber in resonance. Rhys stands, unsteady yet proud, refusing to hide. "I've faced worse than gods," he mutters, as the walls ripple with living color. Kalira's breath catches. His courage stirs memories of the forbidden flame that once exiled her. She reaches toward him, drawn not by duty, but by the ache of recognition. When the sentinels pass, Kalira's defiance deepens. She tells him the truth. The Valen heal all wounds but those born of love and guilt. Rhys looks away, haunted by a memory she cannot see. A dying comrade whispering his name through static. "Then heal nothing," he says quietly. "Just stay." Kalira feels her pulse stutter, a sound like thunder beneath her ribs. The valley glows brighter, as though the planet itself has chosen to witness what comes next. Irindra's red dawn stretches across the valley, bleeding through the crystalline canopy like a promise half fulfilled. Kalira watches Rhys awaken again, his breath steadier now, his pulse in rhythm with the spores that hover above them. She senses the shift, his human life merging, thread by thread, with the Valen current that flows through her veins. But the High Seer's decree echoes in her mind. No heart that beats for another species may endure the lumen's grace. Still, she does not pull away. Instead, she weaves a pact of light between them, silent, invisible, binding their souls to one another through resonance and risk. For the first time since her exile, Kalira believes that healing might mean more than survival. It might mean surrender. The luminous pact burns softly within them, a fragile secret. Rhys follows Kalira through the echoing forest of light spires, learning to move with the rhythm of the spores that once recoiled from him. She teaches him to listen, not with ears, but with memory, to feel the hum of life beneath his skin. But with every step, his human pulse weakens, rejecting the alien resonance. He hides it from her, unwilling to show fragility. She knows, of course. Her eyes, always luminous, dim each time his heartbeat falters. At twilight, they reach the edge of the mirror marsh, where water reflects thought instead of image. Kalira kneels to collect its essence in a crystal vial, whispering ancient words. Rhys sees visions ripple through the surface. His mother, his dead comrades, and a version of himself untouched by war. It shows what we hide, Kalira murmurs. Not what we wish to see. For the first time, he does not look away. The reflection changes. His image blurs into hers, and the water glows white-hot. The Valen sentinels patrol above, searching for the exiled healer who broke sacred law. Kalira cloaks them in silence while Rhys studies her, sensing her fear for the first time. You could leave me, he says. You should. Her answer comes like the hush before a storm. I already did once. His confusion fades as realization strikes. Her scars are not from punishment, but from love lost. The spores tremble, mirroring the ache in her voice, and for a heartbeat, even the wind forgets to move. Night falls, but their pact burns brighter. Rhys collapses near the sanctum's edge, the human core of his body resisting the alien energy binding him. Kalira kneels, her hands trembling as she channels the lumen through his chest. Pain ripples through both of them, shared, mirrored, alive. His breath returns, ragged but real, and when his eyes open, they shimmer faintly with Valen light. You gave me something I didn't earn, he whispers. Kalira smiles, sorrow laced with awe. No, she says softly. You gave it back. The sun of Erindra 9 sinks beneath a shroud of mist, painting the world in liquid silver. Kalira leads Rhys into the ancient caverns of the Underlight Sea, where the Valen once buried their forbidden healers. The air hums with memory, millennia of whispered sorrow vibrating in every droplet. Here, light is outlawed, and only the echoes of thought can guide them. Rhys's footsteps disturb the slumbering spores, awakening fractured memories that do not belong to him. Faces, voices, the warmth of love, once stolen from Kalira's mind. You're walking through my ghosts, she says, her tone both warning and confession. He reaches for her hand in the darkness, and together they descend into the realm where even light fears to live. The cavern walls shimmer with echoes of the past. Valen healers reaching into the essence of the dying, their faces serene, their eyes hollow. Rhys touches a stone etched with forgotten symbols. It hums under his skin, translating grief into light. Kalira warns him not to feel too deeply, but it is too late. The memories flood through him, alien and human pain fusing in his chest. He sees her past, her forbidden attempt to heal a human soldier once before, and the punishment that carved silver scars across her skin. He wasn't you, she whispers, trembling. Rhys does not answer. His silence speaks of both fear and understanding. Deeper within the caverns, the air becomes thick with resonance. Kalira kneels in a pool of still water that reflects no sky, only emotion. She explains that the underlight feeds on memory, and that to reach the inner sanctum they must surrender what binds them. Rhys closes his eyes, letting the memory of war, his comrade's screams, his captain's last breath, flow into the water. The pool ignites, turning silver to violet, pain to release. Kalira watches, tears glimmering like broken stars, realizing that by guiding him she has begun to heal herself. As the final echoes fade, the calm shatters. Rourke's mercenary drones breach the cavern beams of artificial light, slicing through the sacred dark. Rhys grabs Kalira's hand, leading her into the maze of reflection corridors. Their bodies blur in the mirrored light, half real, half illusion. A drone locks onto Kalira's aura. Rhys shields her, taking the blast meant for her heart. The impact sends both into the underlight pool. Time seems to stop, light folding inward, memory freezing in midair. When they surface, he's breathing, but barely human anymore. In the aftermath, Kalira drags Rhys to the lowest chamber, the lumen core, a crystalline sphere pulsing with forbidden energy. His veins glow blue-white, his breath fading with each pulse. Desperate, she disobeys every law of her kind. Pressing her palms against his chest, she draws his pain into herself, her body trembling as alien and human energy merge. The spores awaken, circling them in a spiral of light. For a brief moment, every wound, physical and emotional, becomes one shared heartbeat. When the light fades, Rye's eyes open, gleaming with Valen luminescence. Kalira, weakened but alive, whispers through trembling lips, "Now you carry more than your own soul." The caverns tremble under the weight of consequence. Kalira's energy flickers, her veins now veined with traces of human warmth. Rhys, reborn yet unsteady, awakens to the strange quiet of shared existence. His heartbeat echoing in her pulse, his breath mirrored in her chest. They hide within the dim glow of the lumen core, where forbidden healers once dreamed of unity. The silence between them is a living thing, charged, trembling, sacred. Rhys lifts a hand to her face, and for the first time, Kalira doesn't retreat. His touch unravels the last veil of fear. "You don't fear me," she says, her voice trembling. "I never did," he answers, and for a moment even the spores stop to listen. They emerge from the caverns beneath the Silver Sea to find Erindra in chaos, the Valen skies darkened by Rourke's fleet, the red giant dimming under a canopy of war. Kalira senses the sanctum calling for her judgment. Rhys sees a world preparing to destroy itself over their bond. The spores drift like ash, absorbing grief from the dying forests. In that mournful light, Kalira's scars burn brighter, reacting to his nearness. "The lumen is rewriting us," she whispers. Rhys steps closer, his breath mingling with hers. "Then let it write something new." The resonance between them begins to fracture. Kalira's body convulses, the alien light within her fighting to separate from his human heart. She collapses, gasping as spectral tendrils of energy lash outward. Rhys catches her, ignoring the pain searing through his skin. "Your body's rejecting the bond," he cries. She shakes her head weakly. "No, it's not my body. It's my fear." He presses his forehead to hers, closing his eyes, and lets the lumen pass through him freely, offering his life without restraint. Her screams fade into light, and when they open their eyes, the world feels weightless, boundless, as if reality itself has taken a breath. The ground quakes, the sanctum's power awakening to their union. 1,000 Valen voices echo in the sky, chanting the song of banishment. Kalira and Rhys stand amidst the storm of light, two beings fused by defiance. Rhys grips her hand tightly as bolts of pure resonance descend, scorching the ground around them. Kalira turns toward him, her face serene amid the chaos. "If we survive this," she says, "the old world dies." Rhys smiles, exhausted but resolute. "Then let's give it a beautiful ending." Their joined pulse ignites, sending a shock wave through the heavens. In the heart of the cataclysm, they find stillness. Kalira lifts her trembling hand to Rhys's cheek, tears of liquid light streaming down her face. His armor is cracked, his eyes glowing faintly with her radiance. "You shouldn't have come for me," she whispers. "I didn't." He breathes. "I came for us." The world narrows to a heartbeat, and in that suspended silence their lips meet. The kiss is not passion, it is creation. The scars along her face dissolve into starlight, his broken veins thread with luminous blue. Around them, the valley blossoms anew, spores rising like constellations reborn. Above, the red giant flares, brighter than it has in centuries. The dawn after their union rises blood red. Across Erindra skies, Rourke's mercenary fleet unfurls like a swarm of metal locusts, blotting out the fragile light. Rhys and Kalira stand upon the valley's edge, their joined energies still pulsing faintly beneath their skin. Their kiss had not only healed, it had awakened the planet itself. Luminous storms spiral over oceans, forests hum with new consciousness, and the Valen sanctum trembles in fear of what they have created. Rourke's voice breaks through the comm channels, cruel and familiar. "You brought a weapon to life, Calder. I'm here to claim it." Rhys closes his eyes steady. "You'll have to kill me first." Kalira looks at him, truly looks, and knows that she will not let the universe take him again. Rourke's soldiers descend upon the valley, wielding pulse rifles that hum with anti-lumen energy. The forest reacts, spores ignite in violent bursts of color, shielding Kalira and Rhys in shimmering curtains of light. She calls to the lumen, guiding the planet's pulse like a symphony. Rhys takes command, his soldiers' instinct reborn, directing the flow of energy into arcs of defensive brilliance. Together they become something neither human nor Valen, two hearts sensing to the rhythm of creation and destruction. "You fight with hope," Kalira says between breaths. Rhys grins, teeth bloodied. "And you heal with love. Let's see who wins first." And each way, worst. What? Cases. Rourke lands among the chaos, his armor shimmering with stolen Valen technology. His eyes burn with envy, his words dripping with betrayal. "You were supposed to die, Rhys, not rewrite the laws of gods." He fires. Kalira intercepts the blast, her aura flaring white-hot. Pain racks her body as her energy fractures the air around them. Rhys lunges forward, his own pulse amplifying hers in resonance. "She's not your weapon," he roars, and their combined energy shatters Rourke's exosuit in a single burst of light. The explosion hurls them all apart, and the valley screams as the lumen field collapses. Smoke and silence. Rhys stumbles toward Kalira, finding her collapsed near the broken lumen core. Her body glows faintly, her energy unstable, fading. He falls to his knees, lifting her head gently. "Stay with me," he pleads. Her lips tremble. "The bond. It's burning me from inside." Tears trace down his face, illuminated by her dying light. "Take it back," she whispers. "You can still live." He shakes his head. "I don't want to live without you." The spores drift around them, pulsing in rhythm with their weakening hearts, as if the world itself grieves their choice. The High Seer's voice echoes across the battlefield, amplified through the remnants of the sanctum. "All life must return to balance." Kalira's fading light flares one last time, flowing into Rhys's chest, reigniting his heart with unbearable brilliance. He screams, not from pain, but from becoming something beyond human. The battlefield halts as a wave of radiance sweeps outward, silencing weapons and freezing time itself. Rourke, broken and blinded, watches in horror as the light consumes everything. Kalira's form dissolves into it, merging with the planet she once served. When the brightness fades, Rhys stands alone, alive, glowing faintly, carrying presence within his pulse. He looks to the sky, where the red giant flares like a promise and whispers, "She's still here." Silence reigns where war once screamed. The valley is still, the ground veined with silver scars that pulse faintly like a heartbeat. Rhys walks through the aftermath, his armor shattered, his body illuminated by threads of Kalira's lingering light. Every breath feels shared, her voice whispering faintly inside his thoughts. The spores follow him like morning fireflies, drawn to the resonance that binds his mortal form to her vanished essence. He reaches the ruins of the sanctum gates, where the High Seer awaits, cloaked in radiance older than suns. "You've become what we feared," the Seer says. Rhys lowers his gaze. "No," he replies softly. "I've become what she hoped for." Within the shattered sanctum, Rhys carries Kalira's essence, a faint, rhythmic glow pulsing beneath his heart. The Valen survivors watch him in fearful awe, whispering prayers in a language that hums like glass. The High Seer extends a trembling hand toward his chest, sensing the impossible fusion. "Her soul still sings within you," the Seer murmurs, "but it will burn you alive." Reese looks to the sky where the aurora of their union ripples endlessly. "Then let it," he says, "because every pulse means she's still with me." For the first time, the seer bows, not in submission, but reverence. The spores react to his grief, spiraling into the air in vast constellations. Each mote flickers with memory. Kalaria's laughter, her touch, her defiance. The High Seer commands the lumen to stabilize the fusion before it destroys what remains of the world. But the planet itself resists, alive and aware, echoing Kalira's will. Light bursts from the valley in radiant waves, traveling across oceans and skies, awakening dormant spores. The lumen remembers her, and through Reese, she becomes the voice of the planet. In that moment she speaks, not from lips, but from every particle of light. We are not separate anymore. The fusion deepens. Reese feels his body weakening, his humanity dissolving under the lumen's weight. Kalira's consciousness intertwines fully with his own, their thoughts merging into a single heartbeat. He walks through the valley reborn, every step leaving traces of light that bloom into flowers of pure resonance. The Valen watch in awe as he becomes both prophet and relic, a vessel of the balance once lost. "She gave you eternity," the High Seer whispers. Riss smiles faintly. "No, she gave me a reason to live it." The spores gather around him, forming the faint outline of her face in the glow. Night descends again, soft and infinite. Reese stands beneath the red star that once watched their tragedy unfold. The sky above hums with her presence, a vast aurora that shimmers like breath over glass. The High Seer approaches, offering the ancient Staff of Unity, symbol of the first bond between species. Reese takes it, feeling her warmth flow through him. "What will you do now?" the Seer asks. Reese gazes upward, his eyes glowing with the reflection of two souls intertwined. "Finish what she started," he says. "Teach the universe to heal." As he steps into the light, Kalira's laughter echoes one final time, soft as the wind over the luminous sea. A generation passes in a single breath of light. Erindra 9 blooms anew, its forests alive with song, its seas shimmering with memory. Reese walks among the rebuilt sanctum, his once broken armor replaced by robes woven from living light. His eyes, faintly luminous, carry the echo of Kalira's soul within them. Everywhere he goes, the spores stir and hum in recognition, whispering fragments of her laughter. The Valen and the scattered humans work side by side, guided by his quiet hand and her unseen touch. Each healing, each new life carries the same gentle pulse, the promise they once made beneath a red sun, that love would no longer be forbidden. But the gift of unity bears its price. Reese feels the lumen within him growing restless, his human heart straining beneath the eternal current. At dusk, he stands upon the shore of the Silver Sea, where the waves shimmer with Kalira's essence. "You've kept your promise too long," her voice murmurs through the wind. "Now let me keep mine." He closes his eyes, feeling her presence rise around him. Soft, luminous, infinite. For the first time since their bond, he feels no pain, only peace. The horizon burns gold, and the sea itself seems to breathe. The High Seer approaches, older now, his voice frail but filled with reverence. "Your time wanes, human," he says. The lumen seeks balance once more. Rice nods, understanding. "Then let her have it." He looks toward the valley where the aurora of their love still ripples through the night. "She was never meant to stay within me. She belongs to the world." The Seer bows deeply. "And what of you?" Reese smiles faintly. "I'm already home." Around them, the light bends, forming the faint outline of Kalira's wings unfurling in the sky. As night deepens, Reese returns to the valley where they first met, the place of fire, fear, and laughter. He kneels upon the glowing ground, his hand resting over his heart. You melted more than my scars, he whispers. You taught me what they meant. The spores rise in silent response, swirling around him like an embrace. Kalira's voice fills the air, not as sound, but as warmth. Then let the stars remember us. Reese exhales slowly, his body dissolving into light that joins the spores, rising skyward in a slow spiral. The valley glows brighter than ever before, alive with the echo of their unity. Irindra 9 breathes again. The red giant burns clear and strong, and across the planet's night sky stretches an endless aurora, shifting between hues of human gold and Valen blue. The world no longer remembers war, only the warmth of healing. The spores sing softly, a melody of promise, while the people look upward and tell their children of the forbidden healer and the human who feared nothing. They say their love became the light that binds all hearts, and high above, where memory becomes eternity, two forms of light drift side by side, no longer separate, never again alone.